If you've ever watched Icelandic cinema, you will know how they often use the beautiful yet stark landscape as a character in many films from this small island nation, and The Love That Remains is no different. From the director of Godland and A White Day, Hlynur Pálmason delivers a very different film through The Love That Remains, which is a bit more experimental, but maintains a narrative that features a family drama, but that also has comic elements to it. The main character is Anna, played by Saga Gardarsdottir, and she is an artist and she is spending her time making these huge canvases, utilising the earth and the weather to create these interesting prints. She is also a mother of three that has just gone through a divorce. Her ex-husband, Magnus, played by Sverrir Gunderson, works on ships and he is desperate to get back together with Anna and recreate a traditional family life. And he is often turning up to the home to rekindle their relationship and the nuclear family structure. The film explores a year post-breakdown of this relationship and how this dynamic between the two plays out and impacts on the children in particular. It doesn't particularly follow a narrative structure with an ending or a goal. It's just recreating that feeling between the two and the impact it has on the family. You often feeling that frustration of this dysfunctional relationship. The Love That Remains is quite a mishmash of different storytelling. It at times feels like a very social realist documentary with hints of Mike Leigh in there, but then at times it goes to very comic elements and surreal, fantastical elements that breaks out of the traditional narrative structure. The Love That Remains departs in its storytelling and cinematography compared to Godland and A White Day, which are much more serious, traditional narrative structures and have an epic element to them. This feels much more smaller and self-contained and experimental. The Love That Remains made its debut at the Cannes Film Festival and it picked up the Palm Dog Award for Panda the Dog's performance. It has also been selected as Iceland's official submission for the 98th Academy Award for Best International Feature Film. So let's dig in deep and review this film. If you're new to my channel, my name is Paul and I review the best of world cinema, and I follow the race for Best International Feature Film from countries selecting their submission to the final winner. The Love That Remains follows the tradition of Icelandic cinema, really utilising the beauty of this small island nation. It really uses the characteristics of the environment to shape the cinematography and the story. We see impressive cinema of the vast and bold land, and often the weather, whether it's storms or the wind, is portraying the relationship, or the broken down relationship, shall I say, between Anna and Magnus. And it really captures the essence of the land. The art Anna is producing herself feels very Icelandic. It's got the sense of both the earth and the weather in there, as well as traditional Viking-esque Icelandic motifs, without it being caricature. We also see the traditional industries of Iceland, picking food and fruits through machinery, the mechanics of the ship that Magnus works on. It's almost this combative nature between industry versus man versus nature, and how it collides within this small island. Told with really impressive cinematography, this film really gives you a sense of the Icelandic earth getting under your fingernails. It's that raw. The film is a bit of a hodgepodge of different genres. It starts off feeling like the Icelandic Mike Leigh style social realism, but then it goes across into some pockets of surrealism and fantasy and supernaturalism. It's really a hodgepodge of different genres, and that's what makes it quite interesting. So, for example, there's a scene where Magnus decides to kill the rooster because he's extremely violent towards the hens. And then further in the film, there's this giant rooster that comes and attacks Magnus for his crimes. And it takes you out the realist moments, but provides that magical realism. And while I enjoyed this hodgepodge approach to genre, I do feel some of the surrealist elements did work really well, but others really didn't and weren't as funny or interesting, and then just took you out of the film. The Love That Remains is actually quite a comic film, and the way it manages that comedy is very varied. Sometimes it's extremely funny and lands, and other times you're going, that's just a bit weird. And I think that might also be down to Icelandic humour. you've ever seen Icelandic comedic films, some of it is really weird and quirky and aren't always to my taste. But there are moments of brilliant humour, in particular when the art dealer comes and visits Anna. He's pretentious, he's not watching or even looking at her art. I think he's just there for the free meal, but the way it's done is extremely funny and very well paced and acted. And one of the strongest and unique things of this film is the way it uses animals and the way their performances feel so natural. Now, obviously, the star of this is Panda the dog, who picked up the Palm Dog at the Cannes Film Festival and is absolutely brilliant. I understand it's the family dog, and the children of the film are family members of the director, so there was a natural rapport and relationship there already, which really brings out Panda's performance. But there's also more wilder animals, or less tamed animals, shall we say, such as the chickens and the horses, who all, even if in small ways, provide this valuable context and vision for us to see, which complements the landscape that I talked about earlier. Now, I think this film is a very experimental film. I don't think it's quite a final product almost. It's a combination of the landscape, the people, the culture, the animals, and he's trying to all bring together something over a vague narrative, which doesn't always pay off, but it's about that experimentation and trying. I think the key to enjoying this film is just allowing you to be taken there rather than try and put some serious interpretation to it. Just take individual scenes as they come. Don't worry about being taken out at the moment. It's that ride that you need to just enjoy and see what comes. The Love That Remains has been submitted by Iceland for the 98th Academy Award for Best International Feature Film. And Iceland have only ever had one film nominated for the award, back in 1991, The Children of Nature. More recently, they have had 4 films that have made the shortlisting phase, including The Deep and Lamb, and in the last 2 years, they have featured on that shortlisting list, including Godland and Touch. Iceland are ranked as the 36th most successful country at the Oscars, but their impressive consistency of making the shortlist has seen them ranked 18th in the last decade. And now the big question is, All the Love That Remains, will it make the shortlist? I don't think so. Iceland have a great track record of getting on the shortlist, but I feel this is too experimental, and the fact Godland only made the shortlist and not get a nomination suggests the director's name won't push it into contention. However, I do think this is an exciting and experimental piece of cinema, so I would give it 3.5 stars. Have you seen All the Love That Remains? If you have, put in the comments below, what did you think, and do you think it will do well in the Oscar race? If you like this review and want to follow more news and reviews for the Best International Feature Film Academy Awards, please do subscribe to Global Film Paul. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.